Welcome in, everybody, to a little bit of a quick bonus reaction on the Air Torres Pod YouTube channel. I'm your host, Air Torres. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody's having a great day. Felt like we needed to do just a few minutes on Kentucky, Florida here. We had a thriller to open SEC play. Final score 106-100. Kentucky beats Florida, a top 10 matchup. And I'll just say this. You talk about a game that lived up to not only the hype about the game itself, but also the buzz about SEC basketball. If that's what SEC basketball is going to be for the next 6 to 8 weeks, I guess 8 to 10 weeks, we are in for a treat. So everybody come on in. We'll do a quick reaction. We'll have a full Aaron Torres pod on, I guess it would be Sunday night, reacting to all of the college hoops here from Saturday, but wanted to do just a very quick reaction. So everybody come on in, join the party. Appreciate everybody joining us here on a Saturday because we have a lot to react to. Before we get started, a couple quick reminders. Make sure you're subscribed to the Air Torres Pod YouTube channel. We'll be going live basically a lot during college basketball season. I think we do as good of a job covering the sport as anybody. Multiple shows a week, all that good stuff. Also, make sure you are subscribed via Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. By the way, if you're watching on Twitter, make sure to come on over to YouTube, click subscribe. We appreciate your support. Also, really quick, speaking of support, just really quickly, do want to thank our friends, our partners. Yeah, of course, I am talking about Cauley Puffs and CauleyPuffs.com. Okay, so Cauley Puffs, of course, they are our primary sponsor, our presenting sponsor, and we so much appreciate their support. Okay, this is the new age snack food that if you have not tried yet, I don't even know what else to tell you. We've been hyping them up since September, since football started. Things have not changed. It's the new year. You're looking for healthy food, delicious food, an alternative to the crap in your grocery aisle. Well, my friends, that is where Cauley Puffs comes in, okay? These are healthy snacks, unlike the crap in your grocery aisle, baked, not fried, avocado oil, no grease. But here's the best part. They absolutely taste delicious. Company started by Joey, a buddy of mine, not really a buddy of mine. He's a business partner of mine, a colleague of mine, somebody that I respect gratefully. And respect immensely. A family-owned company not far from where I live. Football fan, season ticket holder. He's just like you and I. He was looking for a snack that was healthy but delicious while he sits on the couch that he would like, that his kids would like, and that's where he came up with Cauley Puffs. For more information, all you got to do is visit CauleyPuffs.com. That's CauleyPuffs.com, CauleyPuffs.com. Also, you can get them on Amazon as well. Just search Cauley Puffs on Amazon. If you're buying toys, gifts, whatever, you can find them on Amazon as well. Throw some in your cart. I promise you'll like them. Thank you to Cauley Puffs. With that said, let's do some quick reaction to a busy opening day of SEC play. By the way, 2 more top 25 matchups in the SEC here on the first day of the season. So you know that it is a big, awesome, fun day of college basketball. There is no more time to waste, so let's get to the topic of the day. And the topic of the day, listen, you don't need me to tell you. It is just an awesome opening Saturday of college basketball. By the way, we will have full reaction, of course, to all these games on the Sunday Night Aaron Torres pod, but want to get you something quick. And there's nothing else to really say other than that game was awesome. That game was intense. That game, listen, I hate the cliche of like, oh, that felt like March in February or January or November. That game freaking felt like March, okay? Florida jumps out to a 16-8 lead. Listen, we talked about it in the preview show that we did the other day. I liked Florida, but I did question how good were those guards really shooting the ball. They had good rebounding numbers, but how tough were they in the paint? Well, we see right away, Florida is an older, veteran, well-coached team. I said Todd Golden is a little bit like the Kenny Dillingham of college basketball. He's young, but his teams play like they're coached by a 70, 80-year-old. They defend, they rebound, they shoot the ball really well. And so Florida jumps out to that big lead. Kentucky immediately rallies. 10-0 run. They end up with what, a 21-6 run or something like that, 21-3 run sometime in the middle of the first half, a separate 16-0 run. It was just a back and forth heavyweight bout, 52-42 here at the end of the first half. And then you think there's no way they could keep this up. Florida immediately goes on a 6-0 run. Kentucky goes on a 10-0 run. And it's just a back and forth game between these two teams. And I really have an immense amount of respect for really both of them. And so let's go ahead and dive into the game itself and just some reaction on some guys. First of all, from the Kentucky side of things, let's call a spade a spade. Okay, so listen, I get a lot of stuff wrong, but one thing I have been pretty consistent on the last 2 or 3 games, Ohio State was a disaster. Brown, the team started slow, finished fast. But what I said was there are too many good 3-point shooters for this team to not shoot better than they have. Kobe Brea, the last 3 games, he was 2 for 6, 2 for 6, 2 for 7 from 3. I said that will not keep up. Yeah, Kobe Brea was unbelievable. 23 points, 7 of 9 shooting from 3. And Jay Bilas said it. He's like, listen, for this kid, an open 3-pointer is a layup. You'd rather have him attacking the rim than shooting from behind the arc. He was unbelievable. But you look at this Kentucky team, and what stands out to me is what I have been saying pretty consistently all fall, all winter long, which is they got so many guys that could beat you. Okay. So Kobe Brea was the star, 23 points in this game. But you look at the rest of Kentucky, all 5 starters also scored in double figures. So listen, I'm not a stats and info guy. I would love somebody to look up the last time that a team has had a guy score 23 points off the bench and also have all 5 starters score in double figures. I would wonder, I'm not even being sarcastic. I wonder if that has ever happened in a top 20 or top 10 matchup in college basketball. So in regulation, a guy scores 20 plus points off the bench and all 5 starters score in double figures. Like I would wonder if that has ever happened. But you saw Kobe Brea was kind of the X factor. He was the difference maker, but everybody on this Kentucky team can fill up the basket. And that's what I have always thought was so dangerous about this team is that on any given night, Lamont Butler can go for 33 against Louisville. Jackson Robinson has had his moments. Andrew Carr had a great game a few weeks ago. Whoever, Otega Owe is probably their best pure scorer. He has 16 points. So from the Kentucky perspective, it's the balance, but it was Kobe Brea, 14 of 29 from 3. That's the team that I expected when Mark Pope put this roster together back in April and May. From the one more thing on Kentucky really quick. By the way, I will get to your questions. If you have questions, comments, drop them in. We will obviously get to the super chats first. So anybody with a super chat, go ahead. We'll make sure to get that in as well. But listen, really quickly, the other thing that I should say about Kentucky. Sometimes in life, you got to take an L. No, sorry, Kentucky fans, didn't mean to do that. But you do have to take an L in life sometimes. And we'll get to the L I got to take on Florida in a minute. But I've been critical of Amari Williams, right? I've said sometimes he plays really well. Sometimes he doesn't play well. And I said, look, I think this is a game where he'll play well because I didn't believe that Florida was a physical front line. Well, Ruben Chinyelu came to play. By the way, when producer Matt is back on Sunday, I'll pop up a tweet from portal season that I had on Ruben Chinyelu. But I just bring it up because I thought Amari Williams answered the bell today. Okay, I've been critical of him. I didn't think that he had that in him. And I did kind of think is this a guy that just when Kentucky plays those big physical front lines, most notably Janai Broome in Auburn, even a Jonas Adu at Arkansas, who's playing right now. I don't know what he's doing against his former team, Tennessee, at this moment. I did wonder, is this a guy that is going to physically be able to stand up to the better front lines in college basketball? Well, Florida is much more physical than I gave them credit for, and I've watched them 3 or 4 times. It just never really stood out. And what I got to give credit to is that with Florida, they came to play, but so too did Amari Williams. 15 points, 5 assists. How about that? As well as 8 boards, a block as well. I just thought he held his own. Early on, Ruben Chinyelu, I thought was bodying him. Second half, credit where it's due. I thought he handled himself much better. Quickly from the Florida side of things, then we'll get to a couple questions, couple comments. Yeah, by the way, Grape Tea News says it correctly. Make sure to like this video. Why have none of you liked this video? Make sure to like it so it shoots up the Google algorithm, the YouTube algorithm. So really quickly, let's give credit to Florida. So if you watch the preview video that we put out on Friday, I thought Florida coming in was good. I thought they're top 20-ish team. I didn't think they were top 10, top 6, top 5, top whatever. And I thought, listen, you actually look at their schedule. They played North Carolina and Charlotte. That's a pretty good win, but North Carolina coming into Saturday is what, 8-6 right now, playing Notre Dame as we speak. So, like, is that a great win? Virginia stinks. Wake Forest isn't what we thought it would be in the preseason. And I just kind of wondered, like, how good is this team really? Yeah, Florida's really freaking good, okay? So, first of all, we got to give credit to Walter Clayton. I almost said Walter Payton. He played like he was the Walter Payton of college basketball on Saturday, along with Kobe Bryant, because Walter Clayton, oh my goodness, 33 points, 9 of 15 from the field, 6 of 12 from three, 9 of 13 from the foul line. And I know from Kentucky fans' perspectives, that foul discrepancy was something that they weren't happy with. And I totally get it. I understand your frustration with that. But Walter Clayton, man, I remember 2 years ago when this kid was in the portal. I remember he played at Iona under Rick Pitino in Rick Pitino's final year. I can tell you, Rick Pitino, number one priority was getting this kid to St. John's. It came down to St. John's in Florida. He's from Florida originally. I actually think more so the parents kind of wanted him close to home. I think he wanted to stay with Pitino. It certainly worked out well for him because Walter Clayton has turned into really, I don't think All-American sounds hyperbolic. 17 points per game this season, shooting 37% from three, shooting, 90-something% from the foul line, 33 points at Rupp Arena to open SEC play. He's impressive. And I think the other thing that stands out about Florida, they play really hard and they are a very aggressive rebounding team. Like I said, they have 2 7-footers, 2 6'10" guys, Condon and Hawk, who kind of play more perimeter based. And I was like, how tough are they? They shoot a lot of threes. They're soft. They're this, they're that. I know, Todd Golden, I owe you an apology because I was not familiar with your game. I was not familiar with how tough your guys are in the paint and how much credit that they deserve for the style of play that you have put in at Florida. I think that team is not only talented on the perimeter, but they are tough and aggressive in the paint, and I got to give them a ton of credit. So Florida, to me, I thought was very, very, very impressive. But for Kentucky, 86-80, what a win. By the way, we will do a full recap of this game and the entire day of college basketball on Sunday night. But let's get for those who didn't see it, says everyone should tweet at Governor DeSantis and ask him how his experience at Rupp Arena was. Yeah, what's his face? Ron DeSantis, the governor of Florida, was in the building. I don't know what Joe Kraft, Kentucky's lead booster, looks like, but I believe that was I believe that he was there. Also, Michael Bell says this conference is going to beat each other up all season. It's funny. I was talking to producer Matt on Friday or Thursday. And, it's funny because, you get excited about covering SEC basketball all season long because this is going to be the best conference maybe we've ever seen. But I think the downside is it's going to be hard for anybody to get momentum. Is that, if you're a Kentucky fan, it could be anybody. It's not just Kentucky. It could be Florida. It could be Tennessee. It could be Arkansas. It could be Ole Miss. It could be Mississippi State. It could be whoever. You're going to have good teams that go on good teams that play a 5-game stretch that go 2-3, that go 3-2. Like, I just don't think there's going to be very many teams over a 7-8 game stretch that go 7-1. I just don't think that's in the cards in this league this year. And so to me, it's going to be interesting. Obviously, it'll be interesting as we get deeper into the season. Listen, I think there's a few teams that are going to separate themselves at the top and separate themselves at the bottom. I still have some questions even about some of the good teams in this league. And listen, I think 11 to 12 teams probably feels right. I don't think you're getting 14 to 15 teams in this league into the NCAA tournament. But we talked about it the other day. What was it? Lenardi's last bracketology, I think, had 13 SEC teams, had 2 teams in the first 4 or next 4 out. So basically 2 teams that were a game away from being in the bracket. So you just talk about the chance for historic numbers in the NCAA tournament this year. And you look at Florida, like Florida's a perfect example. I thought they were good coming into the year. I had them as like a fringe top 20 team, had them ranked behind Auburn, had them ranked behind Arkansas, behind Kentucky, behind Tennessee. And, they went into Rupp Arena. They were as good as anybody. So I'll tell you what, let's see if there's any last questions. We'll come back. We'll do a full show on Sunday night. Outlaw of College Football, my guy. Let's see what Outlaw of College Football has to say. Super chat. When are you going to be a guest on Outlaw of College Football and help make all the weak sauce fans wet their diapers and get a rash? I will tell you, man, anytime you want me on your show, you let me know. The only thing with Outlaw College Football, you got to remember here, my guy, is that I'm going to be real on the state of SEC football. I'm not going to sit here and pretend and play nice and cuddle and hold hands and warm milk and cookies about the state of SEC football because I got to be real. The SEC in football was not very good this year, or at least late in the season when Alabama lost, South Carolina lost, etc. But Outlaw College Football, you DM me. You know how to get a hold of me. I'll be on your show anytime you want. Ben Tyndall says, Joe Lenardi, 13 teams in his bracket. Yeah, I listen, I don't think 13 are going to make it, but I do think it's kind of interesting in terms of just how deep this league is. Really quickly, a couple more, and we will get out of here. If you missed any of the show, you could go back. Coming from a UK fan, Walter Clayton is the real deal. Kid will give nightmares to plenty of teams this year. There's no doubt about it. Guy's a rock star. Listen, I don't think it's hyperbole. All-American. I don't know if it's first team. I don't know if it's second team. There's so many good players this year. Zakai Ziegler, Lamont Butler. I mean, think about the SEC. Like how many Janai Broom's obviously going to be a first team All-American. So I don't know where Walter Clayton fits in all of that. What I do know is that he is a great, great, great player. Ronnie also says Kentucky 3-0 versus top 10 teams. Listen, I don't think you can undersell that part. 3 wins right now that are going to hold up very well all season long. Gonzaga on a neutral. I know Gonzaga doesn't have a lot of great wins. They're not taking very many losses going forward. Duke is, in my opinion, by far the best team in the SEC. I think Duke is in position to like get a number 1 seed potentially because remember they have the win over Kansas in the non-con, etc. So that is a win that I think is going to hold weight all season long. And I think this Florida win is going to hold weight all season long too. It's hard to project where all of these SEC teams are going to end up because everybody is going to beat up on everybody else. Really quickly before we get out of here, I appreciate Outlaw. Y'all give this man some super chats. Here's the thing. We got a full show on Sunday night. Plenty of time for super chats. I like this. Big Blue says Florida wins against Tennessee on Tuesday. I actually agree. I think Tennessee, I know they're playing Arkansas right now. We'll cover that game on the Sunday show. We will get to it there, but I think Florida matches up really well with Tennessee. By the way, Outlaw, I didn't want to disrespect you, and I appreciate your support in saying everybody give this man super chats. I appreciate your support. Tell you what, that's it for this episode. This quick reaction to Florida, Kentucky, instant reaction, fun game. Appreciate everybody's support. You guys are amazing. Great community we've built here on YouTube, closing in on 50,000 subscribers. That's all. Listen, you want to do Torres a New Year's favor or a New Year's resolution for you? Subscribe to the Aaron Torres pod. What are you doing? We're almost at 50K. Apple, Spotify. You can also listen to shows there. We'll do the full show, full reaction show Sunday night, 6, 7 o'clock Eastern. We'll see what's going on. There's not a lot of really big NFL games, so maybe we go a little bit earlier, but I think it's time for me to get out of here. Appreciate everybody's support. Outlaw of CFB. I appreciate your support. We'll talk off air about me getting on your show, and we'll do it all again soon. So thank you all. Thank you for the super chat, and we will talk probably tomorrow about the whole slate of college football, college basketball. We got to start talking the college football